Hey guys, this is RolloutReviews with the RolloutReviews doing another casual Kamen Rider S.H.Figuarts unboxing. Today we're taking a look at the most recent addition to the Shinkochu Seiho line. This is finally Kamen Rider Double Renewal. And fun fact, Kamen Rider Double is the first rider that is actually trademarked as a Kamen Rider and not a masked rider. I guess once Dragon Knight was released in the West, they figured they didn't need to translate it anymore in the Romanization. So that is interesting. It is the first Shinkochu Seiho to actually say Kamen Rider on the side and not masked rider. On the back here we have some product images on top there, and on the bottom S.H.Figuarts, and of course the standard stylized look at the figure from the front here in portrait form, just like all of the other Shinkochu Seihos. Anyway, let's open this right up and take a look at it. Personally, I never really had a problem with the original Kamen Rider Double figure. I thought it was fine. I know there were a lot of people who had real big issues with it, but that said, I imagine this is going to blow that original out of the water, and of course we will do some comparisons. But first things first, we have our standard little instruction sheet here. Shows the hands and the scarf, long flowy scarf, just like in the opening, which is very exciting. And inside, here we have him. Ooh. It's always very nice opening one of these for the first time. They're just so well presented. So, we have the figure there, and aw, man. Aw, that is so cool. Ah, dude, okay, I gotta pull this out and take a look at these. Really excited about this one. Okay, so, look at all those hands. And look at those. Let me get some light in here, but look at all those. Well, I guess there's only two, but they're so tiny. Tiny little Gaia memories. Okay, all right. We should probably take a look at the figure first. Oh, they actually. Okay, all right. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's pull him out of the package first and see him in person. There he is. That is a beautiful green color. Way different than the original figure, and he's finally matte finish, and he doesn't have like black joints in the green sections. Whew, yeah, man. So, pull the plastic out there. Let's get him in a little bit less of an awkward pose here to start off. Well, is that a little bit of silver paint on the neck there where it shouldn't be, but gets covered up just fine. I do appreciate the V-fin here and how it's much smaller than the original figure. Again, we'll do some comparisons in a bit, but yeah, much better proportioned, much better looking overall. Okay, let me get him standing up straight like I intended to do here. I got distracted, man. Got distracted. It's too good. It's too good. Okay. So, he is missing a few things. Kamen Rider Double doesn't have too many accessories in his base Cyclone Joker form here, but of course he does need his scarf and his Gaia memories to be complete. So, whoa! That is always a shame. They really have to figure out a way around that, or when you open up a clamshell, it just pops out everything and it goes flying, and looks like we've lost a Gaia memory already. That's good. That's perfect. I'll see if I can find it here, see if it's underneath the scarf or something. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, let's put these hands back in their places. Wow, how am I gonna do this? Okay, one Gaia memory. Let's just set that over here. Let's get Joker out. You know what? Okay, all right, here's what's happening. I'm gonna pull the scarf out here, and then just everything is gonna come out, and it's gonna go on the desk here, because I'm not going to pry this tiny little piece out without doing that. Okay, so here, if I can even get it to focus, is the Joker memory. Come on. Yes? That's the best I can do. Joker! Okay, that is very cool. And here is the tiny, tiny Cyclone memory there. Wow. And the belt actually opens this time, something it didn't do in the original. It just kind of stayed open on the original. And these actually slot in the belt. That is magic. That is amazing. I love that. And the other one. Aw, dude, it really makes me excited when they make a Shinkochu Seiho O's, if he actually has medals that slide into his belt. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so, oh, well, Cyclone comes out pretty easily there. Joker, does not come out easily at all. So how do you get these out? Yikes. Okay. All right. That is... Well, Joker's not coming out. I'll get some tweezers and get that going. But he does have the maximum slot on the side there. So let's put Cyclone in there, and hopefully we are able to get Cyclone out of there. Yeah, I know Cyclone Joker puts Joker in the maximum drive slot for his rider kick, but since we can't get Joker out, that'll have to do. And that slots in just fine as well. And you can actually see, like, the insignia on there through the windows there and there. Dude, S.H.Figuarts, this is why I love you, man. This is why I love this toy line. Okay. Especially recently, because this level of detail was impossible back when the original double came out. And now Cyclone... Okay, all right. Oh, I got it. Okay. Sweet. And that goes in there like that. And, of course, you can close that back up. Or, splay it open. Very cool. He doesn't even have his scarf attached. Got to get his scarf attached. So, he has a hole back here. And what's going on with the joint on this scarf? So, yeah, just like a swivel. And is there any... I guess it doesn't matter which way it attaches. Just kind of plugs on there. A little unfortunate that you can see the joint, but it's better than it was originally because it was just sort of on a ball joint, if I remember correctly, on the other figure. And this way, you can actually have it like flowing in the wind, which is brilliant. I love that. That's so good. That's so good. And you can have it, flowing off to the side, and it's appropriately like long enough to look good, and all the details very nice there. So that is awesome alone, but they did put the extra effort and gave us a like super, super long scarf. Let me set the tray off to the side here. Plug this on. So yeah, that is ridiculous, but it's to emulate like the opening sequence where he's just got this super, super long scarf as he's like standing on the rooftops of the city. So you can have him, posed from behind. It's actually got a little bit of a weight problem there, but we'll manage. So there you go. Okay. All right. Setting that off to the side, let's give him his normal scarf and take a look at some of his hand options. So, stand over there, buddy. Okay. And let's see what we got. So, of course, he's got fists. Let's see. This is... I think these are hands for holding on to a motorcycle. So that's good if you have the original hard-boileder. There is a new one coming out for this guy, but if you have the original hard-boileder, he does come with holding things hands, so we can grip onto the handlebars there. Let's see. This, I believe, is a memory holding hand. So, if we can get if Cyclone wants to come out as easy as before, which thankfully it does, Cyclone's just going to be our memory that we use for demonstration here. So, yep, that fits in the hand, just like that. So that's good. Is there a... Yep, there is a Joker version of that hand as well, so that is good. Back into the driver with you. Okay. Set those off to the side. We also have some just calm hands here, which is good. It's always good to have those. Didn't always come with those Figuarts here. We have Count Up Your Sins pointing hands, which is good. I'll put one of those on here in a second. And then we have, these are like Philip wrist flicky hands, but you can also use it to kind of like hold onto the driver or do like the Hinchin pose where his hands are off to the side. So, on the Philip side, hands, easy enough to switch out. You can see actually the plastic, the green plastic is a little bit different than the painted green. It's a little bit brighter, but it matches well enough, and it's of course not black, so at least it's got that up over the original figure. So we got that hand going on there, which is good. And then the other side, can get ready to count up our sins. Okay, so let's set everything else off to the side and get this guy into a good pose here, and then we'll jump to do some comparisons. So hold on to the driver on this side if we can get that. So yeah, he's got kind of like the standard shoulder attachment that the Shinkochu Seiho figures have, which is good. A little bit finicky sometimes, but mostly good. All right. Also, I should probably take a look at some of the detail on the chest there. Very nice. And the hips. Let's see how his knee bends, because that was a little bit of a weird thing on the original figure that they didn't really get right. And wow, that's actually really cool. The way the detail up inside there kind of flows with everything else. It's kind of tricky to accomplish on the Cyclone Joker suit or the double suit, but that is beautiful the way it accomplishes that. You don't have like a knee pad section sticking off there. This is actually like molded into it, it seems, or maybe that's a separate piece, but I don't want to try it. That's really good. I love that. Bottom of the feet for this suit are really, really simple. So, no issues there. And, yep, ankle articulation, good as ever. No metal feet, but I've never really had a problem with that. So, let's get his feet kind of close together here, as you do, and get him in the signature pose here. Absolutely incredible looking. Let's zoom in on that. Absolutely love that. All right, I'm sold. Here he is in his other signature pose, which of course he assumes right after transforming, and I cannot get over how freaking cool that new scarf looks. Anyway, couple things that I've discovered which are probably worth mentioning. First of all, the Joker memory is not impossible to retrieve once you've slotted it in there. I don't know if it's just a problem with mine that it sticks in so well, but all it requires are some long fingernails or maybe some tweezers to get out. And I definitely prefer that over the fact that the Cyclone memory just kind of drops out. With how small this piece is, I could see that getting lost in many a shag carpet if you're not careful. The hips are in the same style as the Decade or Hibiki hips instead of the Agito or Kuga style, which I definitely prefer, so that is a plus. The elbow joints, the top joint specifically, is a little bit difficult to bend, but keep at it, and it does in fact bend. It's not quite as clean, I don't think, as the knee joint, but still works pretty well, I suppose. You get some decent range. And last but not least, just like Kabuto, he does have the pec articulation technology, which I've never found particularly useful. I suppose it gets out of the way of the shoulders for more arm range, but it's mostly just hilarious to me, and it is there. This guy pretty much has everything I could ask for, except for maybe like a replacement head that has the left eye brighter than the right one to sort of resemble when Philip talks in the show. When he speaks, the left eye kind of blinks, and it would have been cool to replicate that, but maybe that's asking a little bit too much. And then, of course, it would have been cool if he could, well, split in half for the rider kick, but that is definitely asking too much. And in fact, I've always thought that Cyclone Joker's rider kick was maybe a little bit stupid. Anyway, moving on to comparisons. Here he is, of course, with the original figure, and yeah, these Shinkochu Seihos have a way of making their original counterparts look like playthings. Again, I never really had an issue with this original figure, but this is just leagues better. I could see some people liking the more inaccurate shiny green on this side, as opposed to the more accurate kind of limey green color over here, but there's no denying that the matte finish on the Shotaro side is just so much better than it is over here. The proportions in the head, of course, the proportions overall, and then of course you have the dinky little scarf back here, as opposed to that majesty. It's just so much better. Again, this guy has metal feet, but who really cares? And I mean, come on. The Gaia memories don't even come out of the driver? What is this? Anyway, moving on. Here he is next to the previous Shinkochu Seiho release, next to Decade, and they look fantastic side by side. All of these Shinkochu Seiho releases look great. Speaking of which, here he is next to the next rider, O's. And honestly, one thing I regret is how good of a review I gave this figure. I was maybe a little bit too content with the fact that it was just O's, because of course, O's is my favorite rider, but over the years I've grown increasingly intolerant of this figure and its flaws and its proportions, and especially those ankles. A Shinkochu Seiho O's cannot come quickly enough. I believe that there is still like Ryuki and Faiz and maybe Akiva before O's is next on the roster, but I certainly cannot wait for that. Anyway, I think that this is an excellent figure. It's pretty easy to get double right, you'd think, being such a simple design, but they somehow didn't do a very good job that first time in comparison to this one, which they've outdone themselves with. Again, he has pretty much everything I could ask for. He could come with more, but again, the Cyclone Joker design doesn't really have any weapons, so there's not really a whole lot you can ask for without being particularly needy, I suppose. Honestly, I'd say that this is probably my favorite Shinkochu Seiho release so far. Maybe I say that every time, I can't be sure, but I think I mean it here because it's such a good rider design and such a good figure. So, that is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.